Hello, I'm Micks Mowers, Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have this gentleman here. The top Conker has turned up today. Hi, Conker. How you doing?
Hello.
Nice to see you. Conker's turned up today. He's bought this Alco Silver 520 BR in. Oh, that is. Well, tell the story. What happened to it?
Well, a friend of mine owns it actually, and he used.
You have friends?
Oh yeah, several. Well, there's.
How many do you have to pay?
I can't remember.
You've got to pay me yet.
Checks in the post.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a friend of mine had it, used it for a couple of years. They had quite a big garden, and then one day he said suddenly it stopped. Funny thing. So he thought he'd bring it up to me and have a look at it. So pulled it over, zero compression. Not this engine on here, by the way. Stripped the engine out, and the piston had fallen out of the conrod. The conrod had fallen out.
So it departed where it should do. Was it poking out the side of the engine? Was
Yes,
it?
it was a rather large hole thing. Hello. So we decided to put a new engine on, or new motor, call them what you will. And we've got this far, putting a Honda on. However, guess what I noticed?
What do you know?
All the cables are on the wrong side.
So what did the engine have on there originally?
It originally had a Briggs & Stratton 560E, was it?
So,
or 650E.
So an E series.
Yes.
Okay. So because you put the Honda on, all the cables originally come down on this side of the machine.
Yep.
And they're now on this side.
On the wrong side.
So I don't know. That's not an E series, is it? Well, I don't know. E series. Okay, so it was 650. So it had a throttle control, which is down here. Down here. The brake could be over here, I think. Okay. Either. So you've now put a Honda on there. What is it? GCV overhead valve. Looks like a 130 or 160.
Couldn't see any mark.
It's a GCV Honda 135.
I'd say that myself.
It's around the side there.
I did look that side.
If you look that side, you won't see it. It's around that side. So the engine identification's on this side of the engine, on the little block. It's just engraved on it. It says 135 cubic metre. So there's got a 135, which is the smaller engine out of the two. I dare say this probably would have had something along like six horsepower, so been around about a 160 anyway. But a 135 should do the job, no problem at all. So you've come in today for cable repair, adjustment, fixes, because they're either too short or they're broken. The drive looks broken to me. And the drive will work beforehand, did it?
I'm told it worked fine.
Ah, you were told.
They told it worked fine.
You are aware that all people, especially customers, are liars.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
He probably bought a little mower into you saying, "Oh, it all worked fine last week," and now it just won't start, despite the fact there's a big gaping hole in the side of the crankcase.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
So
So
you'll make the mower. You can fix anything.
I can definitely have a go at something. No, I'm not saying I'm going to fix anything because it doesn't always happen.
It's worth a pass if you can.
Well, then you've come to the right place. So today's video is going to be me and Top Conker are going to be mucking about with some cables. Now you can buy these cables. I think, didn't you say you can buy one of it? Is it the Dead Man or the Drive?
The drive, I can pick one of those up cheaply for about £12.
12 quid. How long you got to wait for that?
It'll be here on Wednesday.
Here on Wednesday. So that's quite a wait then.
It is a bit.
So potentially for £11, I can definitely beat that price because we're going to make our own cables using donor cables and bits and pieces, and we can do that today.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. If this is your first time in watching Micks Mowers and Mower Man and with the Top Conker, then hit the subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time we upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. And let's get this Alco Silver 520 BR cable fixed with Dead Man's drives and...
Easy for you to say.
I'm not saying it again.
You said this before.
Let's get it done. Right, so first things first, Conker has said that the throttle cable itself, which is down here, so that all works as it should do. Just got to sort that out and just fit it. A few cable ties, and we're happy with that. So that should be like for like. So what's the problem with the brake?
Right, well, the brake cable, when it's fitted, puts tension on the brake lever itself.
Right.
So there is no brake when you go to stop the motor.
So that goes into there. That comes up the top. So
But
what?
It's really marginal.
So is it too long or is it too short?
Too short.
So it's too short.
Yeah. If you connect it up, you'll see what I mean.
Right. Well, you've broken your block up the top here. So I have just found a donor block, which would be great. So that should fit into there. Yeah, it does. So that one can go up the top here new, out the way. That's not a bad little sweep. And we go from there. And I think the biggest problem is going to be the drive, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me find a screwdriver. Right, so up the top of the said lawnmower, he said he only just nipped it up, but he got arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger person. Let's just undo that. So up the top here, Conker's, or someone's broke the block up the top. That's one of the newer style blocks too, actually. But as I say, we have got this donor one, which I found in my store. Here it is. There it is there, and that'll go up the top here as well. So we're just going to hook up that onto there. That to there. Yeah. I see what you mean. It's already too short, isn't it? So you can't do that up, can you? On that block. Yes. Yes. So what we need to do...
The inner's too short. Oh, the outer's fine, isn't it?
The outer's fine, the cable's not long enough.
That's right. That's what I found, because when I put it on there, then it's constantly under tension here.
Yeah, it will be. Okay. And it was pulling it out of here, was it? Or
It was pulling here. Actually, when it was together,
yeah,
if you let go of the handle, it was still under pressure.
still running or
Yeah, it wouldn't break. The brake wasn't connected.
okay. So up the top here, let me show you guys. Up the top here, that's sort of hooked up. But as you can see, the block is level here where the hole is, and the hole is here. So what we're going to do first off, just to save any sort of confusion and delay, is we're going to get my Nipex pliers, and we're going to do that somewhere about there. I don't know. About there.
It come off of me hand, sorry.
Yeah. So now I can now hook up this where I want it, and then I can then extend this end of a cable to marry up with here. Now you have got two adjustments. You've got two holes, one at the bottom, one at the top. So we can adjust it if and when the cable actually stretches. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend this up so that I can actually put a piece in. And then we can sort the drive out, I suppose, Conk.
Yeah.
So what I need is a miracle. That's going to be too short. So I want a dog leg end, a bit longer than that. And then I can then join it how we do it. So let me find a dog leg end and I'll be back to you in 2 seconds. Okay, so we've had a little bit of a think about it, and this is the dead man. Now that all works, but this bit here was too short. So what I've done is I've just found another old cable and got a longer leg on it. So all I intend to do is just to hook this up to the top of the machine, put that into place on the arm, and then we'll roughly mark it where we want it, and then we can then press that into place.
I was wondering how you were going to measure.
Oh, well, I should show you. Okay, so all we do is we hook this one up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the lower hole first, because if this cable stretches over time, you can then move it onto the higher one a bit later on. Okay, so put it onto the lower one. That just sits there. We're going to grab a bolt. That's a throttle bolt, I think. Oh no, throttle one's in there, isn't it? Yeah. That's going to go through there. That's going to go through there. I might have to put a different nut on there, Conk. That ain't going to be big enough because that other block was a bit smaller. There's normal nut and bolt and gone there, but that'll do just for purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
And now all you want to do is roughly just mark a couple of markings, so with permanent marker here and here, as to where you want those two cables to marry. And the throw should be enough on the actual lawnmower itself to give you your draw and to give you your dead man. So all I'm going to do is pull that cable relatively tight, not too tight, I'm going to mark it on both cables there and both cables down here. Like so, to get it roughly even. And now you need to remove those back off of the lawnmower, because we go over to a vise to squeeze these up with my cable crimpers, and we can then fit these cables together. So I'll see you back in 2 seconds. We'll go to a vise and we'll go from there. Right, so now we're over at the old vise. Conker's just sitting behind me because he wants to watch this.
Yeah.
So
I've got a proper crimping tool for this. It's a pocket size.
I've seen your proper crimping tool for this, and I wasn't that impressed. So I've got 2 markings here, both red, and 2 markings on here, both red. And all we're going to do is line them up like so, yeah,
yeah,
and then put the crimpers onto there. So put one crimper on first, followed by a second. Get them on, and then line up the other crimper through both of those. Bring that down, and then line up your 2 said markings, which is going to be difficult to see them. Where are they? Here they are. 1, 2. Where is the other ones? There's one. There and there.
There they are, yeah.
Oh, okay, so we've got to line them up so that they marry. It's always hard to tell because they want to twist, you see. There you go, that's better. So it's going to be around about there, okay? So just now, bring up one crimp to around about there. Now, what I do is I crimp mine completely flat and I crush them so they're next to nothing. And that's the best way. I've never had a cable come back or slip.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
That's my speaker device. Well, no one asked you, did they?
Keep your nose out.
Yeah. She knows about Alexa, I tell you. Right.
So you don't put them both very close together?
No, keep them apart. And the reason I'm doing 2 is because sometimes what happens, if you only put one in, it tends to go off at a rough angle, okay? It tends to tip. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to squeeze these completely flat. And I'm putting all my weight on that.
Jesus, that is tight.
Yeah. And that way they don't crack. They hold. Could do with a new vice, really.
Yeah.
But this is quite an old vice. All right, or just new edges on
I
it.
was going to say, you could have new jaws for it, couldn't you?
Yeah. So there you go. So that's now been crimped. Okay, we're just going to cut that off, just tidy it up, and that should do the job. So let's get that back over to the lawnmower, fit that, and we'll test to see if that now has repaired that cable. And if it has, we can move on to the drive. Right. So I want my Nipex pliers. I'm going to tidy that off.
Do you leave a small tag end here?
Nah, just
Don't need it, I suppose. Yeah.
don't need it now because it's all one cable now.
Yeah.
Don't cut the new one. I've done that before. You can put a bit of tape around there as well just to stop any edges. But now what you'll see
I
is.
think that comes up underneath, Mick, rather than I was looking at the angle.
So you reckon it goes that way, like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it that way just
Okay.
just to argue with you because it doesn't matter. Okay. Right. So it's a lawnmower. Right. And what we can also do is I'm going to get a pair of pliers or a pair of grips, Conk, and I'm just going to crush that because a bit. See how slack Alice that is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to crush that. If I can get hold of it, just so it fits a little bit better.
That's better. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now, coming up to the top end of the old lawnmower, up here, what should now happen is we should be able to hook up the... Does this go this way or that way?
Whichever I say
that goes
you'll
in
do the
there.
opposite.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone that way personally, but there you go.
And now you see, just by extending that, we can now put that bolt straight into the hole, like that, and see how that fits. But what I want to do, I want to change that bolt, because that bolt is captive. I've got an end on it. No, that's big enough. No, I want to get a 10 mil nut to put on there, just so I can pull that in, because otherwise I can't do it up tight. I don't know if I have one go on there. There's a smaller one here somewhere. There it is there, Conker. Let's put a washer on there as well, that'd be good.
Just checking that cable way where you put it round up that end, Mick. It looks to me like it should be the other way, because it get the angle.
Yeah, the problem is, Conker, I've actually switched off from what you're saying, so I'm not even listening. Okay. So I'm going to put a washer up on here. All right, that can all go into there now. Look at that, that fits lush. And I don't want that one, I want the other one. That's that smaller one. That one can go into there. And we nick that up. Now with these, you don't do them up too tight, people, because they don't like it. Okay, be about 8 mil on there. 8 mil, which would be there. A pair of pliers or something, just hold the back of it. Like that. I'm going to do that up. That's better, that's running now. Not too tight, people, because as I say, those little blocks, they don't like being done up too tight, they snap. In fact, they're designed to snap, I reckon. Right, so now, God willing...
We've got a brake cable.
Yeah, God willing now, when I activate this brake cable, it shouldn't snap, and it should activate the brake.
Making the micro switch, yep.
Should be. If it don't, we can always adjust it. All right, but we should soon see. But now you've got plenty on there. If not, if you find that's already not long enough, guys, what you can then do is come back up here and just remove this dead man's cable and put it up onto the higher one. Okay, but that should be enough. There's quite a bit of throw there, and there's only enough throw as per what the machine will give you. But we'll test that later on. If it's got to be adjusted, we'll adjust it. But it shouldn't do that. That should be A1. But as you can see, we now have a working dead man. Just to see if it's actually going to make contact later on. We can test it by just pulling it over with a spark plug in. Has this machine got oil in it, Conk?
Yes.
Okay.
Just want to take the lid off a minute. We can check that, can't we? The brake's making contact.
As long as we can see it break the micro switch, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you take over. You're in charge.
Okay.
All right. I wouldn't have done it like that.
That's fine.
What have you expected there then?
No, I just want to check to see that the brake's making contact, that was all. Because it wasn't before. No, it is.
Well, yeah, but okay, so this is the thing, right? And Conker is right to a degree, but also wrong, okay? No, I'm going to show you. I'm not being pig-headed, right? I'm going to show you. I'll show you exactly where you made your little mistake, okay? And if I show you, then you can show others, right? So here's the engine brake, right? That bit, in all honesty, is not important, okay? The important bit is there. That's the important bit. Because you want this micro switch to be breached. So it's irrelevant of the engine brake. It's all to do with that switch. So when I pull this now, hopefully you'll see that it will now bridge the switch. That's only just bridging it, okay? See it goes to there, and you've got a bit more. So it might be enough, okay? However, if it's not enough, then we've just got to extend it, as I say, and put it onto this higher one, which gives a bit more adjustment. Or what you can do is you can just unscrew this bit, a little tiny bit here.
Oh yeah.
Which will give you a bit more. So it's not the brake here, Conk, that's important. It's that bit there, that micro switch. It's got to pull that switch in to engage it, and it is touching it, but it's not a massive throw. Ideally, what we should have done maybe is had that with the brake on and had it about there. But we can always cut and rejoin. So that's no problem. We've got plenty of meat on the bone up here to do that, so we can do that. No drama. Right, let's get on and have a look at the drive cable side of things.
Should we leave this lot off now?
Yeah, leave it off, mate. Yeah, leave it off. Yeah. Right, let's get the machine up on its side and see what fittings we've got on the other side for the drive. Right, before we move on, I have now put this cable up on the top hole. I've adjusted nothing else here at all, just that top bit. And now you can see coming down here, Conker put his finger there so you can see it. It is there. You can now see, my thing, Conker, you can now see it depresses that switch so much more. Yeah. And the brake is still on as well, okay? Right, lawnmower's now up on its side. And here we have the gearbox, and the cable for this one is absolutely mute. What happened? Did someone run over that Conker? Did someone, what happened to it?
I don't know, I think the fairies got to it.
Oh, you did it, did you?
Yeah, okay. I did it.
So this cable's no good at all, and what we're looking for is 2 dog legs, is what we're after, okay? Now my initial theory is to keep the cable, but just try the outer cable, of the inner cable, sorry, and get rid of the outer cable and try and find something to fit that to make it work. Now I have found a drive cable here, but I think it's actually the wrong one. I was expecting it to be a hook on here. Most drive cables actually have a little tiny hook like that. But I don't think that's going to work now, Conk. So let's have a look at my my drawers of many things. And secondly, you've got this spring here. That, to me, that doesn't look right, Conk.
No.
We have been discussing it, and it doesn't look right to me. I think this spring here comes over here and joins up the top inside there is what I think happens. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove that spring, because this is all about the angle bedangle of the gearbox, Conker.
Yeah, I must admit, I did remember you and I spoke about it at length a while ago.
At length we spoke about this.
Length, yeah.
So I'm going to remove that, take that off. And then I think, and I might be wrong. And I quite often am. I think that little spring, it normally goes up inside here, and hooks onto there, and up inside here is a little tiny hole. Now what I want to do, I'm trying to fish that onto the hole up inside here first, if I can. That's completely the wrong set of pliers for that. It's a bit fiddly, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I must admit, when I was doing it, I took the axle out completely.
Oh, I'm not mucking about none of that. I'm not taking no back axles out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a pair of long nose pliers, and I'll grab hold of that spring, and I'm going to hook it. There's a little tiny hole right up the top here, and if I can get that spring to behave itself, I'm going to hook it up inside there. I want to get a screwdriver just to push that up in the air a tiny bit.
So I couldn't see that hole in there, see that?
That's because you're old and your eyesight is going. To be fair, Conk, mine ain't much better.
I've got to say.
Just try to get that spring to sit up in there. Like that, up in there. That's it, that's got him. So that's now sat up inside. There's a little tiny hole there, as I say. I'll get a pair of these fuel clamp pliers. I'm going to try and get hold of this spring now. I might be able to do it with a pair of long nose actually. And I'm going to put that into that hole, just about like so. Now that's where I'd like it to go. Now, is that on that pulley? No, it's not on the pulley. So that's now lifting that spring up. I think that's where that goes.
Right, okay. Well, it would make sense because
the
way I had it...
Or, I'll tell you something else, it could go here.
No, I tried that. Funny you say that. And it's loose. When I fit it on there,
okay,
it flopped about.
It flopped about. Well, we'll try it there. It's not affecting the pulley, and it's not affecting anything else. So that's where they normally go, in that little tiny hole there. That's where they normally sit. So we'll try that. That's number one. And now secondly, this is going to be the hard bit. I've now got to remove the cable out of its housing.
Do you want to take the belt out? There's a bit more room there.
I don't want to do with this because that's got a little tiny. I might be able to remove that. That'd be all right. I might take this little bracket off.
Yeah, that's the bracket I was telling you about.
Ah, right. Well, why didn't you say so?
You weren't listening, boy.
Sorry, mate. Say that again. I wasn't listening. Then we'll loosen that off. Okay. That did next to nothing, didn't it? I see. And then you've got to lift this. You've got to lift this cable up and out, and then remove the dog leg the other side. Like that. And that comes out. Okay. So now we can at least remove the drive cable out anyway from its home. So now what we've got to do is, because Conker broke the cable, we now want a cable that long with those fittings and those ends. The chances of finding a cable like that in my shed are going to be quite slim. Okay, so I think we're sort of winning. This is the old style cable. It's no good. This is going to be the donor. It's got the right ends there, which are going to go up the top end. This is considerably longer, but I want something to fit on the end of that, you see. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be brave here, and I'm going to cut this throttle. Bear in mind, this is throttle cable, solid core, not braided cable. So we're going to take that cable out. Mind your eyes, Conk.
Yeah.
Take that one out. Perfect. And then we want something which is going to be similar to this end. Now that won't come off, that's pressed on there, okay. But what I want to do, I have one over here somewhere with a plastic end to it. I've got to find it. Because I want that to fit in the other end of the machine. I want here the plastic end. There it is, right by your feet.
Yeah.
So that one there, I'm going to take that off. That comes off of there, that's no good. And this is what I do, guys. This is, you know, this is about making stuff work. Bearing in mind, you can get this cable for about £11 on Wednesday. Today is Friday.
Friday, yeah.
So I'm going to screw that onto there. Like so. All right. That'll become the end that is going onto the lawnmower. Now what I do want is that little tiny bit there. That's the bracket that sits in, and look at that. That was made to fit on there. Made to fit on there. I might just crimp it just a touch. So now we have a cable which is way too long. We know that. Okay. So I'm going to trim that to size, roughly what we want, just by feeding that into the machine. And I should cut off the excess off here and then screw that back onto there. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to be brave. I'm going to cut that cable there, Conk. Don't cut the red cable. Cut that off.
Boom.
And we're going to unscrew that one. And we're now going to screw that one onto there. So now we have a cable, get it on, which is going to be roughly the same size as our donor. This is the original. And we're about 4 inches longer, which is fine. We can always make that up, okay? So that's good. So now we have a cable. All we've got to do now is, our outer cable, all we've got to do now is fit the new cable inside. Right, we're winning. I've now hooked up the cable through here, which has got a clip on this. I did actually cut the wrong end, and Conker laughed at me. But now I've got a hook on this end, which will now activate the gearbox itself. So that works. So now I want to get my cable, this bit in. That's got to go onto there, inside here. So the idea is to fish that up into place. That sits onto there, and then that little tiny eyelet has got to sit. Come on, baby. Work for me. Oh, it's a weird angle. There you go, there. Right, so now, that's got to go onto there, that's got to go onto there. Quite like the look of that, Conk. So I'm now going to put that little tiny screw, which should be here somewhere, there it is.
It's a weird setup, isn't it? That.
They all are. They all differ, don't they?
Mm.
It's amazing that bracket is all that holds that drive on. There's quite a bit of flex in that.
Yeah.
But, hey ho. So now if I get hold of that end of a cable, that should now, yeah, that works that. Look, that's working, you see that?
Yeah.
There you go. So you watch the little gear lever just there.
Yeah. Lovely jubbly.
So that's working that now, okay. So now all is left to do is shove that through there. I want a grommet to go on. Okay, so Conker's fixed it. Did he buggery? So we have now put the, left that as it was, and all it was, I was having problems locating the angle of it. Now, no matter which way you go on this, it's going to rub the belt, no matter if you go above it or below it. And looking at the old cable, you can see this has got a massive kink in it, and that's just because of the way in which that's been pulled. So I would say design flaw. That's about the best we're going to get it. But now that arm now moves fully and freely, so we've got a drive cable there. I just hope this gearbox works.
So do I. There's no reason why it won't.
Oh, you heard that here first. There's no reason why it won't. So I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up. Always keep your dog leg ends because they're important for future cable endeavours.
The other thing you've done, Mick, is you've repositioned the spring as well. You found the mount holes for the spring.
Yeah, beg your pardon. Yeah, did that as well. So just remounted that slightly, but as it was. So that seems to be working a bit better now. Let me turn that fan off. We're getting a bit of background noise. I thought it was Conker's heavy breathing, but it's not. So now we're going to tip the lawnmower back up onto its top again. We'll put the belt, the blade on Conk. We'll do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll tip the lawnmower back onto its wheels, and then we'll try and hook up the other end, and then all that's left to do will be the throttle. Right, blades all on, sharp and balanced, and what have you. So now we've got the drive cable to go on, and the drive cable now operates lovely. That's now got to come back up inside this box up here, and as you can see, that is a little bit long, but it will sit down. It will go down eventually. Best to have it longer than too short, I'd say. So let's get an 8mm. It's always difficult to guess the length of it, Conk, when you've got the gearbox to do, because the last thing you want to do is fit it all together and then find out you've actually cut it too blinking short.
We certainly made one good out of one, about three bad.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. And that's why I do what I do. If you can, all your scrap mowers, have them cables off, because it's, people say to me all the time on YouTube, oh, the cables are really, really cheap, this, that and the other. It's not all about the cost of a cable. It's that you've got to wait 3 years to get one, if you can get one. So now that's going to go into there. That's got to fit in there. It's got no other choice but to fit in there, because we chose the right cable end to fit. That's gone. That's gone in there lush. So now that goes back into there. We're happy with that. Let's put the nut on the back of that. Right, so the other thing we've got to do now is just test the throw of the gearbox, so that we can determine the length of a cable. Now what I'm going to be using on here, Conk, is barrel end fitting Z-types.
Right, that's
so,
the screw-on one.
Yeah, rather than doing a crimp job like this one, we're going to, that one's tightened to touch. They sometimes are just a bit of a better fix for this type of cable. We like that bit.
Yeah, that works.
So now, this one here is a drive, and all you've got to do is just get your crimping cable end, which would be a barrel one. I've got loads of those. Well, I did have. Probably haven't got any left now. I've got one left there. That's the last one.
And they ain't cheap.
I have to put some more on my old, no they're not, on my old Amazon wish list. It's the last one.
You have no shame.
No shame at all. Look, if I need consumables and do videos, I need bits and pieces. So all we're going to do here is just going to marry up roughly. You want to look at the throw, guys, okay, and how much you have on here. So when you engage the drive, you pull it out. You've got about an inch of throw. And if you look here, there's more than an inch of throw there. You know, there's going to be about 2 inches to 2.5 inches of throw there difference, okay, between here and that point there. There's about an inch and a half there, yeah, okay. So what you do is you marry up your hole. Now most people will just cut that there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come out a bit, Conk, and just give it a little tiny bit more, okay, because otherwise, 2 reasons. If you cut it too short, you've got to get rid of the cable again. Yeah. Number 2, sometimes when you cut it there and you engage it, you've got too much, you can't actually shut that off. So I'm going to go to about there. Right. I'm going to snip back there because that's got to go in all the way in up there.
Yeah, it doesn't go right the way through the cable, does it?
Huh?
The cable don't go right the way through that fitting.
No, it just goes up inside. Yeah, just goes up inside. But you're only going to lose about 5-10 mil when that goes in. It goes in all the way, and let me cut that, just tidy that end up for you, just so you can see a bit better. Oh, there's a bolt, Mick. I've only got one of these, and you get some more. So that goes in there, and you're going to lose about 10 mil.
10 mil, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to cut that because I don't want that to be level. And bearing in mind, you want that piece. That's your marker piece where it sits in there. Okay. So that's where it is now. I'm going to give it just a little tiny bit more conk. I'll give it about that, so that gives me a bit more throw. So I'm going to cut that. Be brave. I'm going to cut that about there. Okay. That's gone now. Now we're committed. So now, when that goes into there, and that goes into there, and we're going to do that up in a minute. See how much extra I've got over the top. You can see that, but it comes up to about there. Yeah. Because I want to get rid of some of that. Okay. If you have it too tight, you'll never engage the drive. So all you want to do for this is get a pair of pliers or grips, and put your cable end tool in, and then nick your bolt up, pair of grips, and just do it up nice and tight. That's got to be tight, really tight.
Could you solder them in as well?
You could drop a bit of solder in there, mate, yeah, if you wanted to, but I tend to find you don't need to. No. Right, now that's on there. This is a fiddly bit in it because these are not designed to come apart. Because the Germans make it easy. Try and get that in there now. Oh my lord.
They're right fit, all those things.
There you go, it's gone in. Right, so now I'm try and pull this all up together. Oh my lord, that way.
You got it.
Okay. So now you can see straight away there's not quite enough there. Yep. See how much slack I've got? So I've got that much before we go anywhere. Yep. And that's the reason why I cut it too long. So we want about another 10 mil. I'd normally do it in about increments of 10, okay? Increments of 10 generally gives you your best sort of point, because what you're looking for is we don't know slack on that cable in the gearbox end. We want that to be just sort of tight, or taking the slack up. So that's where it went in, that's where it pinched it, so that's where I'm going to cut it. So there's 10 mil gone. I'm going to go back on there again and put a little tiny nut in, a bolt in. Get my snips, my pliers.
Yeah, you get a better grip with them rather than use a screwdriver.
Yeah, or that or a socket. But I tend to find just a pair of grips.
Was it a socket end as well, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's about a quarter. Ah, it's up tight. I know it was up tight because I bit my lip. That's how tight it was. All right, let's put that all together. Don't make it easy for yourself, do you? Just not designed. It's just not designed to be easy. Right, let's put it in there. That's better. Right, okay, so now that's got to go onto that hole, over top of that. Oh my lord. Why make it hard? That's it. Onto there. Lift that up. Turn it round. Let's go on. There you go. Oh my lord.
This is where you get your
Right,
fingers
there you
caught when
go.
in there, yeah.
So now it's a bit of tension on there already.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's pretty good. That's where you want that.
Yeah.
So I've got to do a quick little test to see if it actually engages the drive, because it may, although that's got the right tension on there now, it may not drive the machine. Let me just do those arms up. So ideally what you want is the gearbox to the wheels to lock. So tip the lawnmower backwards, fold it forwards. Yeah, locking, yeah. So that's locking off. Right, that's that bit done. Right then, Conk. So how long ago was this machine last started?
At least a year ago.
A year ago.
At least a year ago. It might even be longer than that.
So,
actually.
so straight away, the dead man's handle, stiff to pull, not stiff to pull. That works. Let's see what happens, shall we? We've got fuel, we've got a bit of oil. So we're going to be checking to see if the dead man works, starts and stops the machine, the drive works, the throttle works, the choke works, everything. Let's see what happens then. So onto choke, click, pull the dead man in. Eh?
Designed to do
Yeah.
Whoa.
So starts and stops. Good.
Click.
Click. So it could have a little bit more on that throttle, on the drive, because when you pull it in, look, you've got a little bit more there still.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what I recommend is, if it comes back and the drive stops working, just disconnect that,
Yeah.
because the cable may stretch. Take 10 mil off.
10 mil off and go
Yeah,
again.
go again. First pull. Don't take over. No. But to be fair, hang on, it hasn't been running very long. Give it a little while. But anyway, it starts, it stops, it drives, it does throttle down. We may just have to adjust that trigger, but you hear that noise? It might want a bit of carburetor work, mate.
Right. Well, as I said, over a year.
It's been a year.
Yeah. Typical Honda.
We could just adjust the idle just to there. Could do that and leave it.
Yeah.
We'll see again.
Look like it makes me fart. How about a fucking great love of angel cake then?
Oh my god. So there you go. That's the Alcove lawnmower, now all up and running. Stops, starts, throttle does work, but it does want a carburetor clean. But like you say, you know, it's not been run for over a year.
Yeah,
So
it's just sat in the garage for at least a year.
good. You need to top the oil up and dip and test, not screw and test.
Okay.
So throttle works, drive now works, which I'm really happy with, and the dead man all works as well. Bit of fine tuning on the Conker end. He may even do a video on that. That could be hilarious. But he's come down today, and we started rattling that off about, what time did you get here?
I got here about 5 to 11.
5 to 11. We've been about 2 hours, I suppose. 2 hours because we're not in no rush. We've been sitting there chewing a fat off camera. All up and running. Don't have to wait till Wednesday, and a total cost of around about, well, nothing, because they're all just donor parts. Oh, apart from the for Z-bend end clips, which I've now run out of, which I should probably put some on my
Checks in the post.
on my Amazon wish list. But yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna wait till Wednesday now. Is that a customer's mower? Or is that yours?
No, it's customers.
It's a customer's mower, so he should be happy. Once you get the carburetor done, you'll be good to go. He can go back, cut his own grass, and he's now got his lawnmower back, 21-inch Alco lawnmower, all up and running. Job done. So I'm happy. You happy?
Delighted.
Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, coffee. Oh, coffee for me.
Coffee, tea for me, and a pasty.
And a pasty. But allegedly, the bottom of Conker's pasty has fallen off.
It has. I scraped the bottom off my pasty.
I'm not having it. So we're going to have a bit of lunch now. It's been absolutely fantastic to see you again, Conker, as always. And don't forget, we're off to Saltex. When is that? November the 3rd.
We're actually there on the 2nd, on the evening, stopping in the hotel.
Yep.
You might have a half a pint of shandy.
I'm not buying any.
Bring your wallet this year.
No, I'm not bringing my wallet. You're buying all the beer. That's the way it goes. So we're off to Saltex. Yeah, I think it's 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Up in Birmingham. So if you want to meet Micks Mowers and Mower Man and the top Conker himself over at Saltex in Birmingham for a 1 or 2 day event, we're going to be there for the 1 day, which is the last day. Then go over to Saltex, register. It's completely free to do so. And then either find a Premier Inn or somewhere to stay the night if you want to have a couple of beers, or if not, just turn up for the day and we'll see you down at Saltex. You'll know it's us too, because we'll be causing the most mayhem in the biggest corner.
And pinching all the pens.
Pinching all the pens. I've still got loads left from last
I know
year.
you have.
So that's it. So lots of episode of Micks Mowers and Mower Man and the Top Conker on how to fix your lawnmower for next to nothing if you've got the spare parts in, and before Wednesday. And today is only Friday, so we're 3 days ahead of where we need to be. And then give us a big subscribe, hit the old bell, ding. You have to do the ding because Ryder's not here. Let's do that bit again because Ryder's not here. So don't forget, subscribe to the old channel and whack the old bell.
Ding.
That way you'll be notified next time we upload another video. We look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, guys, much more importantly, don't forget, take it easy.
Take it easy.